The smell of burning flesh still haunts me. I remember the searing pain, the sound of my skin sizzling, and Vanessa's cold eyes watching as she pressed the scorching curling iron against my cheek. "Now you won't be the pretty one anymore," she'd whispered. "I'm Sophia, 24, and until last week, I was the blessed child with my mother's classic beauty. My sister Vanessa, 28, had spent years living in what she perceived as my shadow. But shadows, I learned, can hide dangerous things. It was an accident. My mother insisted in the emergency room, her hand squeezing my arm too tightly. Vanessa was helping Sophia style her hair for the family photos. The curling iron slipped. I sat silent, the right side of my face covered in gauze, listening to my mother spin her web of lies. The ER nurse gave me doubtful looks as she documented my injury, noting how the burn pattern didn't match an accidental slip. "Vanessa feels terrible," my father added, pacing the small examination room. "She's absolutely devastated. You know how close you girls are." Close, I almost laughed. We hadn't been close since I turned 16 and started modeling part-time for local boutiques. The same boutiques that had rejected Vanessa's portfolios months earlier. That's when the accidents began. My shampoo mysteriously replaced with hair-stripping chemicals. My face cream tainted with something that caused rashes, and now this. The patient shows signs of a deliberate contact burn. The ER doctor noted, speaking directly to me despite my parents' attempts to intercept the conversation. "I'm referring you to Dr. Lin, our best plastic surgeon. She'll want to document this thoroughly." "That won't be necessary," my mother jumped in. "Our family doctor can handle the follow-up care." The ER doctor's eyes narrowed. "This requires specialized treatment to minimize scarring. Dr. Lind is your best option." He handed me, not my parents, the referral card. "She's expecting you tomorrow morning." That night, back at my apartment, my phone buzzed constantly with family messages. "Mom, please, sweetie, think about Vanessa's future. A report like this could ruin her career prospects." "Dad, we're family. We handle things internally." "Vanessa, I'm so sorry, Soph. You know I'd never hurt you intentionally. Please don't make this bigger than it is." I touched the bandage gently, wincing at the pain. In the bathroom mirror, I could see edges of the burn extending beyond the gauze, a perfect straight line that no accident could create. The next morning, I arrived at Dr. Lin's office alone, having turned off my phone to avoid more family pressure. The waiting room was serene, with soft music and gentle lighting that somehow made me feel safer than I felt in years. Sophia, a petite woman in her 40s, appeared, wearing a white coat with Dr. Emily Lin Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery embroidered on it. "Come with me." Her office was warm and professional, with walls lined with before and after photos of her work. But what caught my eye was a small poster about burn trauma and domestic violence. "Let's take a look," she said gently, putting on gloves. As she removed the bandage, her experienced fingers traced the edge of the burn without touching it. "Can you tell me exactly how this happened?" I opened my mouth to repeat the rehearsed story about the accident, but something in her kind, knowing eyes made me pause. "Take your time," she said, photographing the injury from different angles. "But know that burn patterns tell their own story. This," she pointed to the screen showing the close-up images, "is a deliberate contact burn. The pressure was sustained and consistent. No slip or accident creates this pattern." My hand started trembling in my lap. "Your ER report mentions a sister," Dr. Lin continued, her voice careful but firm. "And parents who were very involved in explaining the injury. They want to handle it privately," I whispered. "And what do you want, Sophia?" That question, so simple yet so foreign, broke something inside me. No one had asked what I wanted. Not when Vanessa's accident started, not when my parents covered for her, not even last night as they bombarded me with messages protecting her interests. My voice cracked, I wanted to stop. Dr. Lin sat down, placing her iPad on the desk. "What I'm seeing here is a deliberate injury that requires documentation. As a mandated reporter, I have obligations. But more importantly, as your doctor, I'm concerned about both your physical and emotional safety." "My family won't support this," I said, voicing my biggest fear. "They don't have to," she replied firmly. "You're an adult, and this is your face, your life, and your choice. I can help you heal this burn and minimize scarring, but only you can decide if you're ready to address why it happened." She pulled out a card with another name on it, a trauma counselor specializing in family violence. The choice is yours, Sophia. But know that whatever you decide, my medical documentation will reflect the truth of what happened to you. For the first time since the curling iron touched my skin, I felt a flicker of something beyond pain and fear. It felt like hope. Dr. Lin started preparing her examination tools, and I realized we were at a crossroads. Behind me lay years of family secrets and excuses. Ahead lay an uncertain path, but one where at least the truth wouldn't be burned away. Dr. Lin, I said, my voice stronger now, I'd like to tell you what really happened. Dr. Lin's office became my sanctuary as I detailed every accident Vanessa had orchestrated over the years. The chemical burns from tainted beauty products, the mysterious cuts on my modeling portfolios, the misplaced medications that left me sick before important castings. These photos will be part of your medical record, Dr. Lin said, documenting every angle of the burn. The pattern shows at least 15 seconds of sustained contact. This was no accident. My phone, which I turned back on briefly, exploded with notifications. Vanessa had posted on social media, devastated about my sister's accident. Family is everything, praying for quick healing. The comments were flooding in, people praising her for being such a caring sister. Your sister is creating her narrative, Dr. Lin observed, noting my expression. Common tactic, controlling the story before the truth comes out. A text from my mother made my hand shake. Vanessa's having a breakdown over this. She's threatening self-harm. You need to come home now. They're using guilt, I whispered, showing Dr. Lin the message. They always do this. It's manipulation, she stated firmly, reaching for her office phone. And if your sister is truly threatening self-harm, the proper response isn't to cover up what she did. It's to get her professional help. She dialed a number. Detective Rivera, the case we discussed this morning. The patient's ready to talk. Within an hour, Detective Sarah Rivera sat in Dr. Lin's office, her kind but professional demeanor helping me feel secure as I filed my report. The burn was just the latest in a pattern, I explained. Years of escalating incidents, all dismissed by my parents as sibling rivalry or accidents. Your sister's social media post actually helps us, Detective Rivera noted, scrolling through her phone. She's acknowledging the incident occurred, though her version differs from the medical evidence. As if on cue, my father called. Detective Rivera nodded, indicating I should answer on speaker. Sophia, this has gone too far, he started, his voice tight with controlled anger. Your mother's had to sedate Vanessa. She's hysterical, saying you're trying to ruin her life. Whatever issues you girls have, we resolve them as a family. Detective Rivera caught my eye, mouthing keep him talking. Like we resolved the chemical burns last year? I asked, surprising myself with my steady voice. Or the sabotage medication that sent me to the hospital. Those were different, he stumbled. Vanessa was going through a difficult time then. She's been better, seeing that therapist we found. What therapist? This was news to me. A pause. Well, she was supposed to start seeing one. Your mother made some calls. But she never actually went, did she? Another pause. Sophia, please. If you pursue this, it will destroy our family, Vanessa's career in education. No school will hire her with an assault charge. Mr. Harrison, Detective Rivera spoke up, making my father gasp. Your daughter has third-degree burns on her face. Are you suggesting she should prioritize her attacker's career over her own safety? Who is this, Sophia? Are you recording this? I'm hanging up. Sir, Detective Rivera continued, I strongly suggest you and your wife come down to the station this afternoon. We have some questions about the previous incidents you just mentioned. After he hung up, I sat in stunned silence. Years of conditioning to keep quiet, to protect Vanessa, to preserve the family image, all crumbling under the weight of professional documentation and police involvement. The hardest part is done, Dr. Lin assured me, applying a special burn dressing to my face. Now we focus on healing, both the visible and invisible wounds. My phone buzzed again. Vanessa had texted a photo of us as children, both smiling, her arm around my shoulders. Remember when we were best friends? Before you started trying to overshadow me? I never wanted to hurt you, but you gave me no choice. If you do this, you'll regret it. Detective Rivera read the message, adding it to her evidence file. Classic abuser tactic, combining nostalgia with threats. This ends today, Sophia. As they outlined the next steps, restraining order, formal charges, documentation of previous incidents, I felt a strange lightness. The weight of family secrets was lifting, replaced by the clear light of truth. Your face will heal, Dr. Lin said, finishing the dressing. With proper treatment, scarring will be minimal. But more importantly, you're breaking a cycle of abuse. That kind of healing matters most. Looking in her office mirror, I saw beyond the bandages. I saw someone choosing herself over family obligations, truth over comfortable lies. One more thing, Detective Rivera added. We'll need to document any other communications from your family. They may escalate before this gets better. As if predicting the future, my phone lit up with my mother's call. This time, I let it ring. The path ahead would be difficult. But for the first time, I wasn't walking it alone. I had professionals who saw the truth, documented it, and stood ready to help me face whatever came next. Ready for the next step? Detective Rivera asked. I touched my bandaged face gently and nodded. Ready or not, the truth was finally burning brighter than any family lie. 3 months later, I sat in the courthouse corridor, touching the fading scar on my cheek. The makeup Dr. Lin had recommended covered it well, but I'd chosen not to hide it completely today. Some truths deserve to be seen. Vanessa sat at the other end of the hallway with our parents, all three dressed in subdued colors meant to convey remorse. She'd lost her teaching assistant position when the charges were filed, and according to family friends, had been playing the role of the regretful sister pushed to her breaking point by my constant competition. The prosecution's ready, Detective Rivera approached, now a familiar presence in my life. The documentation is solid. Dr. Lin's medical evidence, the historical pattern, your parents' recorded attempts to cover it up. Are you ready to face them? Before I could answer, my mother made one last attempt, breaking protocol to hurry over. Sweetheart, please. We can still fix this as a family. Vanessa's been seeing a real therapist now, making progress. She's written you a letter. Mrs. Harrison. Detective Rivera intercepted. Return to your seat or you'll be removed from the courthouse. I'm her mother, she hissed. You've turned my daughter against her own family. No, Mom. I stood up, my voice carrying in the quiet hallway. You did that when you chose to protect Vanessa instead of me, every time. The courtroom doors opened and we filed in. My parents sat directly behind Vanessa, a united front of denial. But they weren't the only family present today. Dr. Lin sat behind me, along with Sarah from the survivors group she'd recommended. Over the past months, they'd become my new support system, showing me what healthy support actually looked like. The proceedings began, and the prosecutor methodically presented the evidence. Dr. Lin's detailed medical documentation, photos of previous injuries, text messages, and social media posts showing Vanessa's manipulation. Police reports from accidents I'd been too afraid to pursue before. When Vanessa took the stand, she played her part perfectly. Tears welling up, she spoke about feeling overshadowed, about mental health struggles our parents had ignored, about how she'd just snapped that day with the curling iron. And do you regret your actions? Her lawyer asked. Every day, she whispered, looking at me with practiced remorse. I love my sister. I needed help, and no one saw it. It was a masterful performance. I'd almost believed such speeches myself many times before. But Dr. Lin's hand on my shoulder grounded me in reality. Then it was my turn. I walked to the stand, feeling Vanessa's stare, my parents' desperate gazes. Ms. Harrison, the prosecutor began, please tell the court about the day of the assault. I took a deep breath and told the truth. All of it. The years of escalating violence. The careful manipulation. The way she'd watched my skin burn, making sure the iron left a permanent mark. She said, now you won't be the pretty one anymore. I testified, my voice clear. And my parents told me to say it was an accident, like always. The judge's verdict came down like a thunderbolt. Guilty of assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. Mandatory psychiatric evaluation. 2 years probation. Restraining order made permanent. My parents wept. Vanessa's composed mask cracked, showing the rage beneath. But I felt only relief. Outside the courthouse, my mother made one final plea. You've destroyed our family, she accused. No, Dr. Lin stepped in, her presence protective. You destroyed it by enabling abuse. Sophia's just refusing to pretend anymore. Dad pulled Mom away, following Vanessa and her lawyer. They looked small somehow, their world of secrets and lies shrinking in the sunlight. Ready to go? Detective Rivera asked. The survivors group meets in an hour. Sarah's driving. I touched my scar again, feeling its smoothness under my fingers. Dr. Lynn's skilled treatment had minimized the physical damage, but its presence reminded me of my strength. You know, I said, watching my biological family drive away. I used to think being pretty was what made me valuable. Vanessa thought so too. That's why she targeted my face. And now? Sarah asked, understanding in her eyes. Now I know my value isn't in my face. It's in my courage to speak truth, even when it cost me everything I thought was family. Dr. Lynn smiled. That's the kind of healing that lasts forever. We walked to Sarah's car together. Detective, doctor, survivor advocate, and me. An unlikely family formed through trauma and truth, but stronger than the bonds of silence that had held me for so long. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. When you're ready to apologize to your sister, we'll be waiting. I deleted it without responding. Some bridges need to burn so you can build better ones. Let's go, I said to my new support system. I've got a different family waiting for me now. As we drove away from the courthouse, I caught my reflection in the car window. A scar was visible, a silver line of truth on my cheek, but my eyes were clear and bright, no longer shadowed by secrets. I was no longer the pretty one or the family scapegoat. I was simply myself, scarred, strong, and finally, irrevocably free.